Ready for clarity on your relationship and a path to freedom? Learn more about my validation sessions at coachingwithdrheidi.com. I'm fake and tired. I'm pretty sure you're fake and tired too, because I know you're pretending. You're faking your way through the day in an attempt to avoid any shame or guilt or fear that might be left from your past. It's exhausting, and being stuck in the "I'm fine" lifestyle feels hopeless. And now I know that can be dangerously debilitating. I'm your host, Dr. Heidi. Yep, the same Dr. Heidi behind the popular educational podcast, It's Not Normal, It's Toxic. Episodes here are released every other week. On Fake and Tired, we're focused on the internal damage left by toxic relationships and the emotional shrapnel that goes with it. This podcast is for those whose body and mind still run on a frantic protect yourself path. If you feel misunderstood, if your healthy relationships are suffering, if your reactions are either too much or too little, or if you feel like you're fake and trapped by the multitude of masks you have to wear just to get through the day, this is your home. I'm only a few strides ahead of you on this healing journey, but together we can get rid of those impulse reactions, learn how to feel for real, and stop being so fake and tired. With that, let's get fake and going with this episode. I'm so happy that you're back here today. And it's actually a really good day to be fake and tired. To you who has found yourself in a relationship that is not healthy, who is taking the steps to get out of a relationship that is not healthy, to you who is trying to balance an unhealthy dynamic with parents, siblings, children, friends, or coworkers, or for you who has taken the steps to free yourself, yet find that now, supposedly, normal life is not really feeling that normal either. My life and my work is dedicated to you. Educating you from an experienced perspective with relatable situations so you can understand and move forward is not only what I do for a living, it's my passion. Helping others is what makes my past make sense, and I truly believe it is what I was meant to do. Now, the road that got me here was certainly a rocky one, but I'm here now, and I have learned to appreciate most of the rocks. As you may know, I take only a limited number of private clients every year. In order to be accepted into that exclusive program, there is an application interview. When scheduling an application call, each applicant fills out a questionnaire so that I am able to know a bit about their situation prior to the call. Today, Christine, a fellow faker, and now the co-host of this fabulous podcast, and I are going to go through the questionnaire that she filled out the day she scheduled her call with me. Christine, did you know I was going to make you do this?
No.
Are you scared?
Scared? Yes, I'm scared. I'll just finish that for you.
Why are you scared?
Because I don't remember what I wrote, and I have this sinking feeling that when I look at this, I'm going to be really surprised.
So I did pull a fast one on her. I knew if I told her we were doing this, she would read through her answers and she would change them.
That's correct.
So I told her we were recording and told her to open her email. So I worked with Christine for quite a while, long enough for us to become very good friends and for me to know that her and I can really make an impact on people that have been through this, and we can do it together. So I did pull the fast one on her, told her to open her email, and said, we're recording tonight. So here we go. This is the application, and it's still the actual application that is on the website if you decide to apply. So if you want to cheat, you can listen to this and you'll already know the questions that are going to be asked. So
if you want to cheat,
Christine,
I'll give you my answers.
Yes. So I knew that this was probably going to be a surprise. And I also know that going through this, she's probably going to be a little bit surprised at some of the answers that she wrote, because she has put a ton of work in and her life is completely different now. So I have a feeling that her going back and reading what she wrote when she applied to work with me may get some reaction out of her. So we'll
I
just
feel
see
like
what happens.
this feels like a really bad surprise party is about ready to happen.
Do you need to take a potty break or
No,
make
no,
a
no, no, no. I'm
coffee?
good. No, I just want to blow right through this.
Okay. Okay. So go ahead and open your email, and I sent
Okay.
you the questionnaire.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
The first there's a couple identifying questions on the questionnaire, like name, locate, email address, all that as usual.
Mm-hmm.
But first and most importantly, how did you find out about me and my services?
Okay, my answer is Spotify, but I can elaborate on that a little bit. So I wanted to jump on the treadmill and get some exercise in, and I thought I'm going to put some sort of podcast on, and so I searched.
If I'm going to torture myself, I'm going to do it on the treadmill listening to Dr. Heidi.
Well, and I didn't even know it was going to be you because I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I want something entertaining. I need to pass the time. I want to do this for 30 minutes, right? So I type in the search bar. I type in toxic relationships, having felt like I just came out of one. So when I did type that in, you popped up. It's not normal. It's toxic. And I scrolled through a few episodes, again, making a quick decision, and I found one about something like toxic people at the holidays. And I started playing it, and I started walking on the treadmill, a quick pace. And then after I got a little bit into it, I just about fell off the treadmill. I couldn't believe how spot on that was with what my experience was. And so then I just kept listening to podcast after podcast, and I probably walked for 3 hours that night. It was incredible.
So, lesson learned here is if you need to exercise, you listen to Dr. Heidi,
That's
right?
right. I would have
Really
never
quick,
walked that long.
yeah, I have actually done that.
Hmm.
Also, and I use the treadmill as an example a lot of the times for the toxic relationship. Like, we work so hard, and then where are you when you get done working so hard? Oh, you're in the same freaking place, right?
Right.
Um, Also, I have to tell you guys, you're gonna have to just forgive the dogs barking in the background, because I put Christine on the spot today to record this, so we had to push her puppies into a different room, and they want to be on the podcast too. So
Yeah.
yes, so
That's a
we
future
can hear them,
podcast.
you can hear them, and that's totally fine. Okay, um, as many of us have, there was more than one type of toxic relationship in your life. So what? This is actually the next question on the questionnaire. The type of the relationship.
So the type was spouse slash intimate partner, former partner, co-parent.
Okay, and how long were each of those relationships?
Um, let's see. That would have been, in total, probably a 10-year and a 15-year-ish relationship.
Okay, okay, so she's very similar to me. We have over a quarter of a decade that we now know, sadly, was in relationships or in environments that probably were not the best for us to be in. Next question was are you 100% sure that you're ready to make a change?
Are you 100? Hang on. Let me find that question. Um, I'm very, very ready. I'm ready, but then doubting my decision. That's what
Okay.
it actually says.
Okay, and I have
And
to
I
tell you,
wrote this. You said I wrote this, right? This is mine.
that one that one might have been a multiple choice, but I will tell you that is 95% of the reasons that almost everyone says, but then I feel like I'm sure, but then I doubt myself. So I don't even know that I read the responses on that particular question, because
Ah, I see.
all of them say I'm ready and doubt myself. Okay, tell me a little bit about what your situation looks like presently.
Okay, my
Now again,
answer.
to the listeners, remember, we're going through her her intake questionnaire. So when I say presently, that's not now. That's the question presently
At the
when
time.
she filled it out.
Right. So let's see. It says, after I broke up with my partner, he has not contacted me at all. I am left with zero closure, and I'm really searching to understand the why of the relationship. Why did he treat me like I was invisible, didn't matter, etc.? And why did I tolerate it? I know I can never go back to him, but my doubt comes from doubt in myself not to repeat this pattern. Wow. Um, okay. I had taken him back after some pretty rotten things, one being an affair. My professional life is good with boundaries, but why is my personal life not the same? His mother and sisters and family still talk to me periodically, and they told me I should leave him. They told me they hope I never take him back, which is telling. Wow, this is like a flash from the past right now. I
Are you
can't
doing
believe I wrote
okay?
that. Oh, yeah, yeah, let's go. Let's keep going.
What is going well for you right now?
Wow, this is a good one too. You're sure this is mine? Okay, here we go. I feel a sense of calmness.
It says
My
Christine,
name is on
fellow
this. It has
faker.
to be me. It's me. It's me. I feel a sense of calmness without the chaos in my life. Okay.
That that that's that was all that was going well. That was
Yeah, apparently that was it. That's all I had.
okay. I did not print out her thing because I didn't want to be reading
Yeah,
when
that was
she
a
was reading.
one-liner. I feel a sense of
Okay.
calmness without the chaos in my life.
And you know what? I'm just going to say something here. Told Christine I'm not going to interrupt me doing the application, but isn't it funny how we focus on the negative? What's going well for you right now? And can list one thing. But if I would have said, what's going bad for you right now? We would be here for an hour and a half today reading her
That's
thing.
true.
So that's
So
just a
true.
little segue. Okay. What is your biggest struggle right now? Was the next question
Okay.
on the intake questionnaire.
Oh, wow. This is, I just read ahead a little bit. I'm still sad, and I'm going through some other life changes as my children are starting their own lives. One of my kids is moving in a couple weeks, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm sad about and how to have good boundaries going forward in the next relationship. Fear of being alone and never finding anyone is also troubling to me. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I wrote that. That last part, oh my gosh, I can't believe I wrote that, wasn't in it. Oh,
What part
wow.
can't you?
Fear of being alone? I love being alone. I
You
must not
didn't
have
know,
loved it then. I didn't know how much
right?
I loved being alone.
Right.
Yeah.
What is the number one thing holding you back right now?
Okay, my answer is understanding the why and having insecurity slash fear of the future personal slash intimate relationships.
Okay, that was a multiple choice on the
Oh, is that
questionnaire.
why it's split up that way?
Yeah. So I'll ask the question again and then just read between the backslashes. Okay. So
Okay.
what is the number one thing holding you back?
Understanding the why and having insecurity and then fear of future personal intimate relationships.
Okay. Because a lot of times when I ask people what's holding you back, you can't word it. So that one on the application is a multiple choice,
Mm-hmm.
and they're choices that I know I felt, and they're choices that I know most of my people felt. So it's no wonder that you didn't actually know how to read that. But have you seen a cycle within the relationship? And if you did, if so, please describe.
In this last relationship, I have been here before. He had left me before, although he maintains he never left me, and I definitely saw the same cycle with him. I also went through a similar feeling of abandonment with my former husband. In both cases, I left these men, so I knew what I had to do and I did it, but I feel like there are lasting effects of this that still impact my life.
Were you right?
Yes, I was right.
Okay, what other things have kept you from moving forward?
Um, at the time, I said yes, there were other things, fear and insecurity. And then,
What
um, oh, okay, I see it. So some of the other things were extended family and friends, being alone, feeling rejected. Maybe I should try harder. Maybe it's not that bad. Fear. What if they are happy? This must have been another multiple choice.
it was. It's very hard for you to it's very hard for people to pinpoint what exactly their fears are.
Okay, so those are
But
all the
when I
things I picked.
okay, the next question was what are your goals should you be accepted into the program?
My goal is to be okay alone, not to let myself get sad or depressed to the point where it affects my life. Learn what to look for in a partner going forward and what red flags there may be. Contentment.
Good answer.
That was a great
Have you
answer.
used yeah. And
Wow. Okay.
okay, I keep wanting to interject because I know what she is now, but I promised her I wouldn't, so I have to finish the
Right now, I'm
application.
shocked. That's what I am right now. Shocked
By
at
your
these
answers?
answers. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Okay, the next question is have you used other avenues or services in the past to try and achieve these goals, and did you feel that they worked well for the situation that you were in?
So I have been to many therapists in the past, but I have not felt like I really learned the tools to make my goal a reality. I still feel like an insecure kid inside, not I'm not good enough and that is why they treated me this way kind of thing. So that's a very telling statement. I think it's probably a common thought for people, but I can't believe I wrote that now.
So then why did you choose my program?
So your story resonated with me in my experience with my former relationships. The What to Expect at the Holidays podcast was so spot on. My former partner would just leave, be unreachable, ghost me, withdraw to punish, and I think you experienced that too and have it figured out.
So
So
what would it mean
basically,
to
I
you?
I wanted what you had.
Are you sure? You know me better now. Are you sure you want what I
I'll have what she's having.
have? So what would it mean to you if you were able to reach those goals?
Let's see. Well, I'll tell you what it would mean to me. At the time, that would mean everything to me. I love therapy and coaching and any exercises to improve my mental health. Logically, I know I am a great person, wonderful girlfriend, etc. But emotionally, I struggle with seeing my worth because of the treatment I've received in the past. I need these people out of my life and I need good boundaries to keep them out. I also want to set a good example for my children in their relationships.
And is there anything else you want to add?
Just that I am eager for improvement and understanding. I'm happy that I'm giving and caring person, but is that hurting me in the bigger scheme of things? That was the question.
Okay, now clearly, as you know, she was accepted into the Freedom Me exclusive client program. And you can't see her face right now. I can see her face. And as she's reading these, I did this to her on purpose. I won't do this to somebody I don't know as well as her, but I did this to her on purpose because I knew if there was going to be one thing that showed her the difference between who she was before she worked with me and after, and I'm not promoting my work. I'm just saying she knows after reading those answers she is a different person. So Christine, from your perspective, now looking back on the answers to those questions and knowing where you are now, how does it feel to reread those?
It is absolutely um, kind of an out of mind experience. As if I'm looking at this, my name's on it. I know I wrote it because clearly I wrote it, but I can't believe who I was when I wrote that. So you said you said you're not promoting your services. I'm promoting your services because that was like the questionnaire alone is a person I don't even know.
Well, when I hear her read those, that is now a person that I don't even know. And when I say I'm not promoting my services, obviously it's what I do for a living. But the goal of this, even though some of the questions read like oh, buy my shit, that's not the point of this. The point of this is one, I kind of wanted to see her reaction, which wasn't super fair to her because she didn't know. But unless we get hit in the face with how far we've come, we tend to stay on the same treadmill that we were talking about. Now, Christine and I spent the next 5 months digging up the reality of what was really going on in those two relationships that she filled out the questionnaire about. And Christine, you were a fast learner. You were already no contact, so that helped. And some people aren't that far when they meet me, but that was an advantage for you. You were very eager for the information, and you were able to see where and when it applied to situations you had experienced. So she was already in a place where, if you've listened to my other podcast, she was at the half past quarter till I don't give a crap. I have got to do something, and if I don't do something, I don't know what I'm going to do. So she was I'm not going to say rock bottom, but everybody's rock bottom is different, right? But I have to say, we worked together for 5 months, and I could see a lot of growth. She would have wins she'd text me about. She'd have questions. She'd have ups and downs as we went through this. But as we approached the end of our time working together, I could sense that you didn't understand how much work you had done. Now, you told me earlier we had a 10-year and about a 15-year relationship.
Roughly.
Okay, so 25 years. You and I spent 5 months together. Now, I don't fix anything. I just give you a different perspective.
Yeah.
But I could see how you were just eating this information up. But I would tell you how proud of you I was. And I would tell you that all the time. And in true faker fashion, you would say, yeah, but... And then you would follow it up with something that you were not proud of at all, which totally deflected the compliment of how proud I was.
Yeah, I'm still working on that.
I needed to find a way to make you see the changes that I had seen in you. And so I gave you
Well, this was a pretty good way, Heidi. It was a good way to do that. I see him now.
No, I'm not talking about this. I gave you an assignment towards the end of our working together.
Oh, no.
And
I feel like this is an episode of This Is Your Life, and you're going to open some curtain somewhere, and I'm going to be shocked. Again.
She was the freaking homework valedictorian, okay? I have never had a client do homework the way she did. Now, I am not technical. I say that all the time. That's why dogs bark on the podcast. And
Exactly.
I just let it go. I would get these forms that I would throw together in bad formats and send them to her. And what I would get back in her homework would be color-coded, animated PDFs that like danced around my screen. And I'm like, and she put a lot of work into her homework. She took every assignment that I gave her very seriously. But the day I gave her this assignment, she said, oh, do I seriously have to do that?
Oh, do I seriously have to do this?
Yes. Well, you don't have to do anything. So
okay, I'm ready.
The last assignment that I gave her was, in order for her to see all the work that she'd done, is I didn't make her, I suggested that she write a love letter to herself. And she did go, oh, I don't know if I can do that. Which is the same response I get a lot of the times when I ask people what makes them happy. They can't think of anything because we don't look at ourselves in a way that we look at other people when we've come out of relationships like that. But do you remember when I gave you that assignment?
I do. I remember that feeling of, I gotta write what? I don't know.
Okay, well, the homework valedictorian came through. And within a few days, I
Are you
found
nervous right now? Because I'm nervous.
I'm not nervous.
So you're not sweating.
Are you sweating? Do you
I
have
don't
a
know what's going to
feeling
come
that
out of your mouth. I don't remember this.
well, in a few days, I found something in my email, and I believe that at the time I read it, it gave me tears. So, Christine, if you don't mind, I would like your permission to read the love letter to yourself to the listeners. Do you
Okay.
remember it?
No, go ahead.
Is it okay for me to read it?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, me just getting permission is already getting my eyes watery. So, for the listeners,
It's already giving me
that
anxiety, so this is good. Good combination.
for the listeners who are used to me crying a lot, I am an empath that used to have zero emotion, and now I'm emotional about everything. You can always hear it in my voice when I have tears. So, here we go. I'm going to try to get through the letter that she wrote to herself. If there's pauses, it's because it doesn't make me cry because I did this for her. It makes me cry because I see the transition that she's gone through, and it's amazing. The letter reads, Dear Queen, I am writing you this letter to remind you that you're an amazing individual. I know that you've been through a lot, but I'm proud that you have taken the bull by the horns, faced the unhealthy elements of your life and those contributing to that negativity head on, challenged yourself, and you have come out ahead. I admire the fact that you have learned to value yourself. My favorite quality about you right now is your ability to see through toxic behavior. See it for what it really is and discern who should be fortunate enough to receive grace and understanding from you. But more importantly, who should not. You have come so far, and I want you to remember to celebrate it. Don't forget, you are capable of setting boundaries, valuing yourself first, and protecting your fishbowl. And you can reach anything that you set your mind to. Your mistakes do not define you. All you can do is learn from them and move forward. My goal for you right now is to continue to see yourself as a priority and keep healthy boundaries in future relationships, whether those relationships are intimate partners, work colleagues, families, friends, etc. Something that makes me laugh when I think about it is how utterly formulaic the toxic personality is. In the most basic and obvious ways. What a concept. Why don't they teach that in school? Everyone should have Dr. Heidi's flowchart, and it should be a prerequisite to run people through that flowchart before you ever allow them in your life or in your circle. Always remember that you are not obligated to do, starting over, always remember that you are not obligated to do anything that is not hell yes for you. Any hesitation should be listened to and respected. You are justified in making your own choices for the future. Remember to love yourself first and know your value. You are so beautiful, sexy, talented, and truly unique, and I can't wait to see what you do next. Don't ever give up on yourself or your dreams. Written with love from yourself, Queenie Christini.
Are you okay?
Okay, listeners, I'm bawling my eyes out, and she's laughing at me, and she's the one that
I
wrote
can't
the
believe
letter.
I said Queenie. That's so cute.
So, how do you feel after listening to the love letter to yourself, as opposed to the answers that you filled out in the questionnaire at the beginning?
Wow, it's quite a turnaround. I mean, the intake questionnaire was a whole different it almost felt like a cloud. Are you going to be okay? Are you still
No,
wiping
I'm
your
good. I'm
tears?
good. I'm good.
Are
I
you
cry
good?
about
Okay.
everything. I
Okay,
used to
okay.
never cry. Now I can't
Okay.
get through a Hallmark commercial.
Yeah, so the intake questionnaire was more like this dark cloud that I was just kind of trying to put my finger on what was going on. And then that letter, which I hadn't read since I wrote it, I might not have ever read it to myself. It just, it says things that even remind me today, that I shouldn't forget, how to look at red flags, that I shouldn't forget how to decide who you let in, hold your boundaries, whether it, like you were saying in that letter, whether it's work or personal or family or whatever.
I, I
It's
wasn't I wasn't saying that in the letter. That
oh
was your
right, I was
letter.
saying it. That's right. Um, yeah, it's such a different outlook. That letter is so drastically different than the mindset I was in when I had the intake questionnaire completed.
And a little empowering, isn't it?
Very empowering. First, I'm thinking, that's a great letter. That was the first thing I thought, wow.
It is a great letter. And
Yeah.
actually, you don't know this, but I have that letter pinned up on my wall.
Do you?
Yes.
I don't have that letter pinned up on my wall.
Yes. I think,
Maybe I should.
however, well, I believe that I said print it out and read it every day.
Oh, maybe I didn't do
But
that
but it
homework.
but that part of the homework didn't involve technology, so she didn't do it. So that being said, okay, you and I struggled through this conversation, and I knew that we would. So apologies to the listeners if we fumble around a little bit, but the impact of what I'm trying to show you here is she didn't know she could do this. She didn't think she could do this. She didn't even to this day realize she did it until I called her back onto the application and the letter. Because we don't celebrate our wins. We don't celebrate our accomplishments. We just move from one day to the next because that's what we've always done. So, Christine, what would you tell the person that is listening right now that is stuck in an unhealthy relationship?
So that question brings to mind something I actually told somebody once, and and it was somebody in a relationship that was not optimal. And that when you're in those things, it's so hard to envision getting out of them. But I actually, what I told this person was, when we're in it, our mind only lets us think about what we might lose when we get out of it. We don't typically think, about what we'll gain by moving on. And if I knew then what I know now, I would have left so much sooner because the other side is peaceful, it's calm and happy, it's invigorating. I wish I hadn't waited so long to start my life. And I'd tell somebody, you can do this and you should.
And I believe that I actually stole those words and have repeated those. Not everything I say that sounds really, really intelligent is my words. Sometimes I steal things from other people. Now, as you'll know, this podcast is not so much about being in a toxic relationship. My podcasts are going to go be people are going to be able to jump back and forth between the two of them. This podcast is designed for the residual effects, the things that you find out about yourself afterwards. And with that, Christine, you have also felt the residual effects of living in survival mode. So, what would you tell a listener who is stuck with that internal wreckage from a toxic relationship of the past?
Well, the first thing I'd tell them is to figure out how to be a private coaching client of yours. I know I'm not, and I'm just, that's the truth. In the first 3 hours with you, it was just life changing. I can't even stress it enough. And I was surprised. I did not have the
What
expectation that it would be life changing.
What do you think was life changing? What was the difference between the validation session, which was the 3 hour session that you did with me,
Hmm.
and other stuff, books you've read or anything else you've tried? What was it that made you go, oh my gosh?
So for me, and this might be my personality, but it was having a set of rules or a formula to apply to a situation so I could objectively say, oh, okay, here's the rule. How does it apply to this situation? Here's the formula. Put it over the top of this situation. And it explained it.
Yeah.
It made
Which,
sense of the situation.
and um, we will get into this later, and I cover it vastly over and over in the other podcast. It's Not Normal, It's Toxic is the other podcast. I taught you to take the emotion out of the observation and the decision making
Hmm.
because we're emotional. Anybody who's listening to Dr. Heidi that likes her is emotional. Anybody
Hmm.
listening to Dr. Heidi that doesn't like her is listening because they're the toxic person in some relationship. I'm joking, but most of the
Anybody who's
people that
on a
are
treadmill and listening to a podcast about toxic relationships to pass the time and almost falls off the treadmill in disbelief that this really happens, that's telling.
yeah. And actually on It's Not Normal, It's Toxic right now, I am I took a sabbatical from all my work and the other podcast for about 6 months, but I just relaunched that, and I am going through some of those from through some of those playbook things because the toxic personality surprisingly is very predictable. A lot of them act exactly the same. And so once you learn that, and I think that's what you're talking about when you
Hmm.
heard, you felt like I was watching your life, I think is how you described it. You're like, oh my gosh, how does she know that this is exactly what was happening in my relationship?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, well, thank you for being so vulnerable and for sharing. I cornered you. I know I did. I would not do that with someone who I didn't know very well and who didn't already know she was going to be able to redeem herself in future episodes. But
It's okay. You'll make it up to me. I know. I know you will.
right, but I do believe that you understand what I was doing with making you read the questions that you answered first and then the love letter, and now thinking where you are now, you're like, it's the transition and the transformation that I wanted to depict through this episode.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that you achieve that because it it is such a surprise to read those words.
and and I do believe that the growth that was shown in the short time that we spent together between our first meeting, which was the application that we went
Hmm.
through, and your love letter, is going to be very encouraging to those who are listening that feel like they don't have an option or there's no way out, or even if they're already out, don't have a way to move forward. So, Christine, why don't you give us the sign off for today's episode?
I'd say, you know, you've tried a lot of different things, and we've all tried kind of the same things with therapy, books, self-help, all of those things. And and this approach was just so different for me that it was something I never thought I'd try. Never in a million years would I think I would try this. So the fact that one, go out on a limb and see if trying something different works for you and and just do it.
And with that said, the follow up episode is going to be a little bit more about Christine. She is
It
very
is
aware
it?
of, well, I was just going to say, you're very aware of the next episode. We discussed it.
Oh, okay,
And
okay, okay.
and I have to apologize publicly for doing that to you, but I knew if you knew what I was doing, we wouldn't have the same impact on people. So I
No, that's
truly
probably true.
appreciate it. And I also know that people are going to get to know you very well, and they're going to get to appreciate you the same way that people appreciate the fact that, not necessarily appreciate me, just appreciate the fact that others have gone through it. And I think you and I are still walking the path and falling down every other day. And
Yeah, I
when
think
when we
it's
decided to do this podcast. It was so people could see us falling down right in front of them, because it's I think that sometimes the residual, the after, the trying to understand the survival mode, or the stress responses that stick around, it's almost as isolating as the actual relationships.
Yep, I'd agree.
So stay tuned, because Christine and I will be back very shortly. You hear me talk about the effort it takes to just keep faking it. If you want to stop this feeling of treading water and are ready for a change, my most comprehensive program is for you. I offer Freedom Me, my exclusive 5-month private one-on-one guidance program. This isn't a quick fix. In fact, we're not fixing anything, because there's nothing wrong with you. Rather, this program is created for you to understand yourself, accept yourself, and it gives you control over what has felt so out of control for years because of your past. It's a dedicated partnership with weekly calls, interaction between calls, and access to the exclusive private support group. We address the toxic teardown head on, giving you the time and support that has been difficult to find. If you're ready for sustained focus and a clear path, you can apply to become an exclusive Freedom Me client at coachingwithdrheidi.com.